if Fang will ever be able to get back to his peak performance, and if not, what percentage it will take for him to be, let's say, back in the world top 10. But at 459, this is a man who's got a long journey ahead. 34 years old, what, 5 matches in WTT so far? That said, still a 60% win rate, not bad. I think he's on his way up. Fang back at the World Championships in Suzhou 2015 in the round of 16 would take down a player who had been in and out of world number 1, the Cloud Walker, the showman Xu Xin. He would continue on in this incredible edging shot there. He would move through the quarters. He would face Zhang Jike in the semifinals and win. And he would take Ma Long in maybe the most pivotal match of Ma Long's career, the most defining match. And he would take Ma Long to game number 6 with epic rallies. That was a lot closer of a final than people remember or give Fang credit for. But the 7-time US national champion, Kanak has been the most dominant player in US history on the men's side. Someone who's got dual citizenship in Germany and actually moved to Sweden for a few years, trained here alongside his sister Prachi, who has been with Elias Ranafor for quite some time now. But a lot of motivation for both of these players to win between points from 20 to 100 and 1.55 million in prize money.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Kanak gets on. As you say, Adam, a well-respected US player, has done a lot for the sport in the country. The fan vote, though, do you think there's some nostalgia at play here, or is this realistic? 73% of fans watching think that Fangbo can turn back the clock and get a win here.
I go nostalgia, I go he's earned it. It's his career, right? There's a reason that Timo Boll, even in his last matches, people would fly in all over the world to watch Timo Boll to celebrate. It's not about investing in the future, it's about acknowledging what they've done for you throughout your life as a spectator. And Fang Bo is one of the most underappreciated Chinese national team members in recent history.
Wow, almost ready to get underway here. Who'd have thought 5 years ago that we'd see Fang Bo back on our screens half a decade later. Here he is. I mean, how much of that sharpness do you lose, and how quickly? Because you mentioned Zhu Ling earlier, who came back after a notable absence after illness and came back to win the US Smash and soared up the rankings.
That was a pretty incredibly quick rise, I would say, from her to come back. At the top level, it's tough to stay sharp. Actually, Kanak is one of the best examples I've seen of that. When he was 12 years old, he beat a Vietnamese player locally who's a dear friend, Trung Tu, just because Trung had taken some time off the game and his serves drifted just a little bit long. The details are so important at this level of play.
Oh, bit of luck there for Kanak with his trademark high ball toss on the serve. What motivated the comeback for Fang Bo, do you think? He had a whole new life as an entrepreneur.
I think I heard it was a social media dare.
Okay.
I talked to him briefly. It's interesting. The coach on his bench, when I looked up the name, Zhixin Xue, I know him as Ahmet Lee. Played for Turkey. It's not a new thing for Chinese national team players, or Chinese players for that matter, to realize that they don't have a chance back home. But Fang Bo is a player who, as mentioned, beat Xu Xin, Zhang Jike, and lost narrowly to Ma Long in what would be the first of 3 consecutive World Championship titles for the GOAT.
But as he rightly recognized, in 5 years, he's stopped and others have come up and kept improving. And there is a conveyor belt of talent, especially coming out of Team China.
I don't need to point fingers, but Wang Hao, for example, becoming a coach for just a little bit. When you live such a strict life, Jun Mizutani, when you don't have a drop of sugar, you don't have a carb, and then suddenly after 20 years straight, you're like, oh, freedom. Sometimes you start enjoying some food that maybe athletes don't consume as much. So keeping up your fitness, your reaction time, Fang is definitely on the way back up, but he's got some work to do to come back.
4-3.
It's wonderful placement to follow up. When you think about Fang at his peak, his forehand was definitely the shot. You can see the leg muscles are still there, but they're glamour muscles, and then there's being in shape. Right now, that's somewhat leftover from years of hard work.
3-6.
But the commitment, he will get back in shape, and he's on his way. I think Kanak right now, from the start of this, the world rankings might suggest, and just Kanak's recent form, that he's a strong favorite, but the world knows how good Fang is and saw what Xu Xin and Ma Long did at the Chinese national champs recently, taking the title over all the fresh youngsters.
He did say, though, he's realistic rather than optimistic. He knows that he can't just turn back up at the table and play like he used to in this sport that demands such quick reaction speeds.
7-4.
Well, Kanak reached the second round at this competition last year. Looking to emulate that at least here in the Nordic arena. Some of that sharpness still there.
It's funny when you play players who've been out of the game for 15, 20 years. In some ways, it's like riding a bike. But if you're playing at the absolute top, these minor subtle differences, it takes some polishing. He's got what it takes, but it's hiding behind a little bit of, say, rust.
The serve outfoxed Java.
This is the danger of the third ball that awaits. Could Kanak receive that on the table? Of course, but the quality needed to shut down the third ball attack, that's what puts the pressure on.
He's doing very well, giving a very good account of himself.
Backhand and forehand here. That's 4 points in a row for Fang on both wings, covering well. Again, his backhand isn't going to be as powerful as his forehand, but if he's free and fluid with it, it's going to be dangerous. It's actually going to be a little bit closer in terms of the point of contact out in front.
Left, 7-all.
I love the confidence and the control that players at this level have, even on a let. Casually, right to the baseline.
What happened there?
Well, Fang made a wonderful receive, first of all. He completely shut down the third ball attack, but then the change of pace in the push game, Kanak keeping it unpredictable. That was nice. He shows push. It looks like it's likely to go either deep middle or to the forehand somewhere, maybe even soft to the forehand, and it comes long to the backhand. That was subtle and surprising.
8-all.
Well, the winner of this one goes on to face Lin Shidong in round 2.
Considering that last year's champion is already out, the only player to outperform Lin Shidong last year. Lin Shidong, you could argue, is definitely one of the favorites.
It is an intriguing men's draw now that we have lost the defending champion, and there's no real standout who you pin your expectations on.
8-9.
And this was beyond the expected as well. Kanak with a hooking forehand, the side spin on this counter, off a net ball. Look at the movement on that, beautiful recovery. After being up 7-3, this is far from a comfortable scoreline for USA's Kanak.
How do you feel if you are Kanak?
TTR.
Feel like calling a TTR because you don't like the serve.
Well, let's have a look at what the video review system says. Kanak with the challenge there. Wasn't happy about
selection or service angle.
Not happy about the service angle. So let's have a look and see what the video review system says.
30 degrees or less, okay. More than 30 degrees off of straight up in any direction, and the serve is a fault. It's a risky call on receive. Kanak's got to be really confident here, because otherwise he completely loses the point, having never even attempted to play it. I love the yellow lights on the left side of the table. Look, the table looks like Sweden colors right now. This is gutsy, especially considering the point that we're at. Imagine if the call doesn't go Kanak's way here. Moment of truth. Ooh.
Service angle fault. Challenge successful.
Well, he has two challenges remaining then. Players get 2 successful challenges per match.
Unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful, sorry. So 1 challenge remaining.
10-8.
Oh, I'm a little confused. I thought Kanak called TTR on receive.
Yes. Really?
Well, it was Fang calling it on serve. I was with you, Adam, when that graphic popped up. I was having to sort of backtrack as well. But it is Kanak who takes the opener. A tough opening game, actually a close one, but it is one that goes the way of the American in this best of 5. But Fang maybe showing some signs of rustiness as we'd expect, but we can expect him to improve as this match goes on. So Kanak taking the opener, 11-8.
If you receive with forehand, it's always drop shot. If it's on the table, he's not giving half long. He's not giving.
Let's have a look then at some of the rest of the action. This is table 2 of the women's doubles, and it's for place in the quarterfinals here.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 20.
Across on table number 3, it's the 15. Japanese pair. Shinozuka and Tagami safely through over the French pair in straight sets. It was a good win for them into the quarterfinals. Shinozuka Tagami and Hiroto Shinozuka. Well done to them, beating Esteban Dawn, Florian Bourassa of France. Before that, it was Miyu Nagasaki and Kim Na-young, the Japan-Republic of Korea partnership, beating the Singapore pair.
Kana, it's Kanaja.
Second game.
So game number 2 then. It was a close one in the opener. And I was going to ask you, Adam, how you feel if you're Kanak and you see Fang on the start list. Do you think, well, this will be easy because he's rusty, or do you think, nope, I respect this guy too much?
Well, for me, it's slightly more nuanced than both of those. It's hopefully he's a little bit rusty, but you never take your opponent lightly at this level. We've seen crazy upsets, players outside of the top 300 in the world beating the world #1. It's happened. It's a fine balance, I would say, between being confident. You'll hear players talking to coaches that are friends of theirs from other squads, other teams, and then they'll say, who you playing next? And they'll go, oh, that'll be easy. But there's a smile because, of course, the player knows, I'm going to do all my homework. And man, Kanak is like an encyclopedia for table tennis. The last 15 years of table tennis, anything that's happened globally, just ask him about it.
1-2.
There's great ball placement there. Straight down the line.
I think it's an interesting time to be playing for Kazakhstan because Kazakhstan, I feel like, has been investing a lot in table tennis. There's a lot of growth there, a lot of events coming up, world champs next year.
3-1.
When you're someone who's been a silver medalist at the World Championships, have been inside the top 10, one of the top Chinese national team players, and you realize, you know what, I want to come back, I want to keep playing, but it's going to have to be under a different flag. You do your research, you check your options, and Fang is a clever guy. Hardworking and talented as well.
Do you think we'll see him playing in the men's doubles alongside Kirill Gerasimenko at some point, somewhere along the line?
It's a good question. I think it's a question of when he's allowed to play certain events and which events. Everyone has to be mindful of that when they're playing in pairs, but yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Haven't mentioned Jorg Bitzigayo on the other side, who's been personal coach to Kanak for quite some time. An incredible coach who's brought out victory in a lot of players you've seen over the years. Nina Mittelham he's worked with, who was quite strong yesterday, although it's been a little time to my knowledge. But Tom Jarvis has come to rise under Jörg Bitzigaio.
Three, four.
And Kanak comes into this in quite strong form. Reached the final of the WTT Contender Skopje recently. Just losing to Darko Jorgic in the final there.
Four, all.
This is the forehand that Fang Bo is capable of. It's been so spectacular to watch. Kanak is a master of efficiency. He's a very clever player, and he keeps the racket generally high. But the quality on that forehand is special. The point of the century, ITTF called it in 2015 in Suzhou during the final. Fang Bo was unstoppable in that rally.
5-4.
I mean, there wasn't much to choose between this pair and the opener. Adam came down to just 3 points in the end. Do you think Fang Bo can take a game here from Kanak?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's going to be up to Kanak to make sure that he keeps his confidence high, though. Doesn't allow it.
4-6.
I think as Kanak's been playing in Bundesliga, in the top league of the German league for quite some time, contracted now to play for Borussia Düsseldorf. You can see the kick on that ball as it jets back into the rib cage of Fang Bo. He's just got so many elements to his game, Kanak now.
4-7.
Like this flick here, that forehand is very deceptive. Where's it going to go? He keeps the wrist back. It's not an easy shot to play, and it's one of his best shots.
Hold. 8-4. Service angle, not vertical.
That's another challenge. If this is unsuccessful, then he has no challenges remaining.
No.
Fang is challenging service angle.
So apparently our confusion and your confusion for the first one where we saw Kanak call TTR, our production team has checked with the umpire and it was mismarked. So Fang Bo now with his first challenge has 2 unsuccessful challenges remaining. Kanak has both of his as he was successful on the call. Oh, that's a high toss from this angle.
Service angle fault.
There you go.
Challenge unsuccessful. Fang has 1 challenge remaining.
From the first angle until they turn it sideways and you can really see how much it deviates, the higher the toss,
8-4.
the less likely it is to break the 30-degree line. But from the side, we got the look there. So now 1 unsuccessful challenge remaining for Fang Bo.
9-4.
And that might just come down to a bit of rustiness, perhaps, just not quite getting that toss exactly as it needs to be.
You like fun facts?
I love fun facts.
Lin Gao Yuan, the first time TTR was ever brought into play.
5-9.
2019, the World Cups. He got called for a serve, and he challenged it, and it was 52 degrees.
Okay.
52. It just goes to show you that if you didn't play during the era of TTR, it's like other sports, like the NBA in the 90s, where people were throwing elbows and everything else.
10-6.
So yes, he does have a lot of adjusting to do because certain rules are enforced more strictly here, and everybody's having to adapt, but most players have had more than 5 matches in WTT to adapt. But at 5 game points, Kanak has 4 left, and serves to come should he need the second one.
Oh, point 1 on receive, and there are 3 game points remaining now. It's a long, fast serve from Kanak.
Timeout.
The timeout now on Kanak side. He likes a long, fast serve, off into the backhand here, but I think knowing that Fang Bo likes to step around, he's going to converse with Jörg Bitzigaio and get a fresh shirt.
It's okay. Listen. From my point of view, when you serve, you can also serve lotus. You can also flat. If you serve left, this banana is a little bit slower. Okay. Just stay close. If he attacks aggressive, it's always here. The banana comes to your backhand, then he wants to go with forehand, it's always cross. You can also, when he loops to your forehand, crush a little bit more, or also you can keep the ball once, down the line. You always want to go cross. You're okay in loop, but as long as you brush, you don't have to kill him with the first one, because the second ball in forehand he's always much further away, and then you can And on his service, you're doing many good things, but you always have to not just let's play, and then the second ball same spot, because then he goes. If you banana, it's either intensity deep or ugly elbow. If it's elbow, you cover. Okay. If you go short, stay in the table. Okay. Hey.
So, Kanak Cha's been given plenty of options there. 3 game points remain. One of which was you don't have to toss the ball so high, you can do a short ball toss.
10-7.
Yeah, from time to time that can surprise the opponent in terms of variation of the spin game, or making sure that if you do get in the open rally, spin it, you don't have to kill it, get him away from the table first.
8-10.
Well, first point out of the restart goes the way of Fang, who's saved now 2 game points. 3 game points, my apologies.
Yeah, it's a wonderful short play and a steal from inside the table. Kanak's got excellent control in the short game, and Fang, that's impressive. That right there is a good sign. For Fang, that is. The details coming back, 3 game points saved. 2 more game points to go for Kanak Ja.
Oh, that was brilliantly done.
I think of Kanak Ja as a bit of an engineer, a tactician, or a guy who's really able to break down the game and find answers in ways that others often don't. He analyzes the game so well, but for the last 4 points, Fang has outfoxed him on the table.
Foul. 11-9.
But it is Kanak Ja who gets the second over the line after being pushed all the way there by Fang. That is 11 points to 9. It's a 1 point improvement for the now Kazakhstani player. So Kanak Ja game away now from a place in the second round here. 11-8. 11-9 in his favour.
If it's half or long, cover him. Always. If it's short, I would like to change the approach. He drops short, you give long. Yeah, because the second shot is very aggressive.
30 seconds. Fifteen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time! No, which service he can do. Okay, let's go out.
Well, Adam, you did say you think it's possible that the veteran Fang can take a game off Kanak Ja. If he's going to do it, now is the only chance he has. This is a must-win. Game number 3 in this best of 5. Kanak Ja game away now from a place in round 2 where Lin Shidong, last year's beaten finalist and former world number 1, awaits.
Love 1.
What can Fang do now to impose himself here, Adam? Because he's come quite close in the last 2 games, improving game by game. Is it just a question of just that little last bit of rustiness that remains, as you'd expect after half a decade away from the sport?
He's playing a completely different player, too, than he, if he faced, in theory, which, as we saw, had not ever played Kanak Ja. Just going to say, Kanak's game has developed so much, and when you think about how many players in the top 10, Kanak's beaten the majority of the top 10. And he's just barely been inside the top 20. That's quite a statement. Not so many can say that. So while it is some rust to be shaken off, it's also a tough draw to get Kanak Ja in the first round. After all, that 2019 world champs, Kanak Ja had maybe, arguably, the best match against Ma Long of anybody in that world championships.
2-all.
There's been a lot of tough opening round matches here at this Europe Smash, as you'd expect. Both draws, or draws on all sides, men's, women's, and across all the doubles, absolutely stacked with quality.
3-2.
That was taken with some real aggression from the 34-year-old. Steps around into it nicely, and Kanak Ja clipping the top of the net.
3-all.
But responds with some power and aggression of his own to get the point finished off quickly. Kanak finalist at the America's Cup earlier this year. Got a semi-final run at the Champions in Yokohama this time last year as well. This is a pretty good showing for Fang considering that this is his first match, this first time in a main draw since his comeback. Tried to make it through qualification at the WTT contender in Zagreb a few months ago. Same at the star contender Ljubljana. Didn't make it past qualification there either. Well, TTR now. He has one challenge remaining, Fang.
What is your reason for the challenge? Angle?
So,
Fang is challenging service
seems pretty
angle.
clear. Not happy with the service angle. Remember, it's no more than 30 degrees off of vertical. Quite difficult to tell when your opponent has such a high toss serve. Let's have a look what the video review system says. It's been put to good use in this match, the TTR. Have a look then
Service
at
angle legal.
Review the
Challenge
service angle
unsuccessful.
legal. That is
Fang
a
has
blow
no
for Fangbo with
remaining.
the unsuccessful challenge. Perfectly legal within 7 degrees off vertical. He's still having a good long look at it though. Looks quite perplexed, but of course he has been away from the sport for half a decade. Things have moved on and no challenges remaining for Fangbo. Had a shout there. Think about the strategy. I think that's coming from the JAR coaching bench.
5-4.
Both players pushed far back from the table with some powerful forehands on display. Fangbo atones for the disappointment of the unsuccessful challenge, and that's a good restart. Look at that angle, just catching the blue paint on the side of the table.
Left 5-4.
Wow, well, I don't know how Fangbo managed to get that one back. Couldn't make it count in the rally though. Kanak on to the next, but he's giving a very good account of himself here. Set himself that the gap between himself and the rest of the players here is huge. Yeah, the pressure really on now from Kanak. And Fangbo said that years away from training have inevitably affected his physical condition and technical sharpness. But that will return. Timeout though has been called on his side.
Not happy.
飞分打，多积累积累场上的感觉，好吧？发球现在那发不了那侧，
啥基本能发？
你就低抛，你就低抛就行，你就扔过去就行，对吧？你扔过去都把你回来
2厘米才能给我判出来。
就打简单一点。
15.
打简单一点吧。
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
来来，杨晨。机会有机会。
So Fangbo has been told to keep things simple. This is game number 3. It's a must-win for him if he is to continue in this competition. Only returned Two competing in June after announcing the comeback in April, so it's already been pretty quick work. Still very much in touch here in this game number 3.
5-7.
Kanak just sneaks that ball underneath the forehand. Fang just spinning off the table in quite an awkward way. He has 2 serves now to try and maintain pace.
6-7. 8-6.
Well, he's hanging on in there, Fang. He's not making life easy for Kanak here. If he is to make this count, this is the game he has to do. It must-win game. If he's to have any chance of making round 2 here, which would be quite some feat after half a decade away from the sport. He's made a name for himself in live streaming. Began as a casual pastime and then said it became exhausting. Being under constant scrutiny. He said every joke he made was dissected and he didn't like being judged. But he says winning or losing at table tennis is his own business. All tied up at 8-all. Oh, that was smart. Kanak trying to change the angle, going straight down the line, but Fang with great anticipation. Forehand into Kanak body, right in that crossover area. Nothing the American could do to protect the crossover there. What a point there from Kanak. Forehand blistering down the diagonal. Pushes his opponent out wide, as he was told in his timeout a couple of games ago. He uses all the angles available to him as we look at the serve success. Kanak with the greatest serve success by around 8% or so. Fang will take a lot of lessons from this. He'll see just how far the gulf is between himself and the rest of the field. Well, nice one from the coach's bench as Kanak comes from behind to earn himself the match point here. Wow, scores at juice. Fang is spoiling the party here for Kanak. Certainly made life difficult in game number 3, and he's improved game by game, getting a little sharper every time. Second match point for Kanak. Can he make this one count? Yeah, just getting it into that backhand side of Fang who's far stronger on the forehand. Kanak wraps up a straight games victory over the comeback man Fang. Seals his place in round 2 where he'll take on Ling Chidong, last year's beaten finalist. It'll be the first meeting between that pair. Kanak survives a bit of a scare in game number 3, taking it 12 points to 10. So a good straight games win for Kanak and a very good test indeed for Fang, showing himself exactly what he needs to do to be able to go toe-to-toe with the top 20 or so players in the world. Kanak, of course, just sitting at 21. I do wonder how he felt out there on the table, Fang, whether he's enjoying his comeback into elite table tennis, and I am looking forward to seeing him wherever he turns up next. A welcome return for Fang, now in the colours of Kazakhstan, competing once again at the very highest level. But it was Kanak who was the level higher on the day. The American with a straight games win into the second round here in Sweden. Reached the round of 16 at the US Smash, his home Smash. Can he emulate that here in Malmo? So then, over half an hour on the clock, Kanak with a straight games win over Fang, the service percent stronger in favour of the American with a total of 7.